Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session. The meeting is called to order at 7:02 p.m. Trustees, please raise your hand if you have questions. Your name will be added to the speakers list and I will recognize you when it is your turn to speak. In person, we have Trustee Mahmood, Trustee Butterworth, Trustee Lin. Online, we have Trustee Michael Chen and Trustee Jenny Chen and Trustee Melanie Wright send their regrets. I would like to begin tonight's meeting with a land acknowledgement, so I will call on Trustee Mahmood to provide that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that the York Region District School Board is located on the lands of two treaties. These treaties have been signed with the Mississaugas of the First Nation and the First Nations of the Williams Treaties, who are the Mississaugas of Alderville, Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Scugog Island, and the Chippewas of Bosale, Rama, and Georgina Island, who is our closest neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibility to be respectful of their traditions, knowledge, and inherent rights as sovereign nations. We will respect the relationship with these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations. And we also acknowledge that our shared responsibility to respect and care for the land and water for future generations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Mahmood. I would also like to acknowledge that Trustee McCarthy is with us now. We'll now move on to the approval of the agenda. Without objection, the agenda shall be adopted. Is there any opposition? Without objection, the agenda is approved. The next agenda item is the declaration of conflict of interest. If any member of the Finance and Property Standing Committee has a direct personal interest or direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter being discussed during this meeting, please state the conflict and the nature thereof. Hearing and seeing none. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. The minutes of the January 27, 2026 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session have been distributed to all committee members. Are there any corrections to the minutes? As there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as presented. We will now move on to our information items. First, the construction project, new elementary and secondary schools and additions to schools. And for this, I would like to invite Senior Manager Gerard Paris to speak to the item.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, everyone. Please refer to Appendix A of the construction project report, which can be found on page 5 of your package. Since our last committee meeting in January, there have been 3 changes to the Ministry of Education approved construction projects currently underway. For the unnamed Holland Landing Elementary School, the building permit submission was made to the town of East Gwillimbury on January 16th, 2026. For the unnamed Angus Glen Elementary School, the building permit submission was made to the City of Markham on January 28th, 2026. And finally, for the unnamed Village Parkway Elementary School, the site plan application was submitted to the City of Markham on January 12th, 2026. All 3 projects are progressing very well and ahead of the original planned dates. That concludes the update for this month, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Trustees, do we have any questions? Trustee Lin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Jared, for the update. I think it is usually it is the other way around, but I think I'm very impressed with this, whatever done by the staff with the ministry. Truly appreciate it. Are we able to anticipate and in the public session that why the six months ahead of schedule? I'm really excited seeing this, Jared.
Thank you. Senior Manager Gerard Paris.
Through you, Chair. We work very closely with the municipalities and our architect, and we really try to push the project along, especially in the early stages, because we find that if we do things expeditiously in the early stages, we gain a little bit of construction time. So we've been really working with the municipalities to get things approved quicker, following up, and they've been very responsive to our building permit submission and site plan applications. So that's part of the reason. And the original dates were based on historical dates that we've seen over the last few projects. And yeah, we tried to improve those dates, and in these 3 instances, we are ahead of schedule.
Thank you very much, and I think we have to be realistic to our day being more reserved, but seeing this ahead of the schedule is very welcoming for the community, so thank you. So wish the Holland Landing and the Angus Glen Elementary School will have some very great outcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? I see no further questions. So now we'll move on to the 2026-2027 budget consultation information item. And I would like to invite Controller Sabrina Wang to speak to this item.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. On page 7 to 14 of the agenda package, we're providing an information update on the budget survey as part of the consultation process for the 26-27 school year. In line with our commitment to engage and consulting with our stakeholders, we have prepared a budget survey, which is included as Appendix A of this report on the page 10 to 13. The questionnaire on the survey are designed to align with the board's updated multi-year strategic plan. You may notice the questions are largely the same as last year, with some minor edit on the last 3 questions on the page 12. So we kept the questions consistent. We're aiming to compare the response year over year to better understanding how community concerns and priority may be evolving. What is new this year is the introduction page. We have strengthened and messaged around the enrollment and the financial pressures facing by the board. We are also including a high-level overview of the 25-26 budget, so members of the public have a helpful context as they provide their feedback. And the survey, as usual, we will translate into the most commonly spoken language within our community, and it will be available online from March 24th to April 17th. As the result of the survey will help guide our funding allocation for the 26-20 school year budget. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Trustee Mahmood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's I always ask this question every year at this time. What are the methods we are going to adopt to reach out to these stakeholders, if you want to call it, especially the parents, students, and then council members, right? So what are the methods? Are we adding anything? Are we just going to reach out through social media or direct mail? What other ways we are adopting to make sure that we have a good sample? We have been getting good sample, but we should still strive for more numbers as well.
Thank you. Controller Sabrina Wang.
We have many channels trying to communicate to the public, such as the school newsletter, the communication to the school council, trustees newsletter, media and release, our webpage, while including the PowerPoint presentation. We'll have webinar recording our presentation, And we will have link to our budget book. We have broadcastings on the LinkedIn, X, and YouTube of YRDSB, and BWW resource pages, etc. I think those are our channels to trying to promote our public communication on this one.
Thank you. Trustee Mahmood?
Just as a follow-up, are we making use of any community papers which goes out in there? Because I see that one of the categories is that we're seeking input from residents of York region, which means that, you know, you could be anywhere living in the York region and can give input. Is there any way for us to utilize that community newspapers which are available in York region?
Controller Sabrina Wang? Director
Sorry,
Colbert?
We probably need a communication. We will confirm with communication and provide the answer. If the director has some response?
Sure. Thank you, Controller Wang. Through you, Mr. Chair, to Trustee Mahmood. Thank you for the feedback, and we'll take that back to our communications team. One of the things we've done related to community outreach is around our enrollment and recent registration campaigns. So I'll take this feedback back to Executive Officer of Communications, Licinia Maguello, and see the feedback that you're providing in regard to further outreach beyond our current stakeholders in our system, beyond our system, to see if we can exercise some of those channels in the budget survey as well. I think that's excellent feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director. Trustee Mahmood?
So just to closing, so my intent behind this is that, I mean, we know that the time we are in, right, in the education system overall, I want to make sure that out there's a perception that York Region is always working with the stakeholders, and then we're trying to reach the masses where we're taking the input and trying to make sure that at the end of the day, we know that 85% of our budget is going to be the classrooms, 3% is going to be always the transportation, or plus minus, right? But we still can change the perception through this type of outreach, which will definitely benefit for our, not only for PR purpose, but overall people will feel that they are part of, or they're being included, right? And we have made an effort to reach out to them. So that's the intent behind it. Thank you.
Director?
Yeah, terrific. Thank you for that feedback. And to be complimentary of staff and trustees, that the current budget that we operate in represents the feedback that we've had in previous years' surveys. As you've indicated, when you look at those percentages, the focus is predominantly, well, let's get as many of those funds as we can in front of the students in the schools. And the budget surveys have been very, very informative in past years, and especially the current year that we're going through. And as that commentary that you've shared plays out, the more engagement that we can have in that is of great value for us as we build the budget. So thank you. That's excellent feedback.
Thank you. Trustee Mahmood? Thank you very much. And now, Trustee Lin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a comment and encouragement is that I remember when we were doing the 25-26 budget, same time last year, we have had a significant increase in feedback compared to the 24-25. I cannot remember number. It is north of more than 1,000. Am I correct? Number one, because I want to say this because the engagement is important. And when I was attending the OPSPA symposium, talking to my colleagues across different school boards, they have significantly less feedback. So we must be doing something right. Alongside to Trustee Mahmood's point is, I think, in anticipating the decline in enrollment, I think we need to bring the community together, because the more that they involve, the easier the tough decision are we going to make for the community. Not that it is going to be easy at all, but those tough decisions, it has to be made to be fiscally responsible as a school board. So that is my comment. So I welcome any feedback, and I think we bold that financial and enrollment pressure, that specific paragraph is important. I cannot remember, maybe last year or year before, communication teams invite some of the colleagues to get some wills and promotion, make like 30-second clips to engage their local community to participate in this, no matter in the virtual or just the survey itself. So that's my comment and feedback, and thank you for the team for preparing this.
Controller Wang?
Trustee Lin, actually, for the participate in 24-25, I have a record. 24-25 budget survey, we had 1924 participates. In 25-26, it increased to 28-17. So that's significant involvement from public.
Trustee Lin?
No, that's very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Butterworth?
Thank you very much, Chair. And to add on to my colleague, Trustee Lin, about, getting the message out to our community, if I could add, if trustees could have some kind of graphic that we could share on our social media that people can click on right from there, that would be wonderful. The second part is, you mentioned about the intro to families at the beginning of the survey. To give a bit of background, can you just expand on that a little more, what that is going to say? Thank you.
Controller Wang?
Yeah, what I meant about the intro is we would like to provide the public about what the financial landscape the board is facing from now on for the next few years. About the decline enrollment, and the funding is connected to the enrollment, and our cost inflation is rising, so basically our flexibility is going to be limited.
Trustee Butterworth?
Thank you. No, that's very clear. Are we going to give any number in terms of funding shortfalls or anything like that, or would that be premature to say?
I will have directors comment on that.
Director?
Thank you, Comptroller Wang. Through you, Mr. Chair, to Trustee Butterworth. In the communication, if you look at the language that staff have put together, what they've done has been clear in the demands that we're facing around declining enrollment. There won't be a projection of a particular number of students that are declining, because it's never, it changes moment to moment, as you can well imagine. And so we won't put out a specific number of students in decline, but the information around declining enrollment is in the budget survey to give people the understanding of the impacts of that. And I think they've done a nice job of capturing it with the language to talk about, we still have the demands on the capital program, we still have the demands on all the operating expenses, we still have all of these demands. And with declining enrollment, our organization is funded on enrollment. And just for people to understand the narrative that in a declining enrollment district, we have fewer students, fewer dollars. And so, but not, Trustee Butterworth, as you're asking specifically for a student count, no, we're not going to include that.
Trustee Butterworth?
No, that's good. Thank you very much for your answers. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any further questions? Okay, so now we'll move on to our next item, which is the trustee and student trustee conference participation information item. I would like to invite Manager Audrey Ballard to speak to this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. The trustee and student trustee conference participation report is on pages 15 to 21 of the agenda, and it covers trustees and student trustee participation in professional learning conferences from December the 1st, 2024 until November the 30th, 2025. And this report is put together yearly to ensure transparency, accountability, and stewardship of the board resources. On the three appendices, it outlines the various conferences, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Okay, I don't see any questions. In that case, we'll move on to our next item, which will now be beginning with our decision items. So first, we have the proposed development applications, Plan 25, 137532, and Plan 25, 137523, City of Markham. I would like to invite Manager Gilbert Luck to speak to this item.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. So before you is a report for a development application in the city of Markham. So this, if you refer to Appendix A, is at the northern limits of the city of Markham, between the town of Stouffville. The applicant is proposing 2,800 residential units of low and medium density. So in discussions with the applicant, we identified the need for an elementary school site to serve the, as per the report, approximately 800 elementary students we're expecting. So an elementary school site has been provided, and which you can refer to in Appendix B, the location of the school site in this development. It meets our board standards of approximately 6 acres. So this report is simply to impose a draft plan conditions to secure the school site in this development. So adjacent to this development to the north is a new community in the town of Stouffville called the Orca Lands, which is subject to a series of minister's zoning order. And to the south of this plan is also the new community in City of Markham that's in various stages of approval. So in time, all these lands, this community and the adjacent lands will all be developed, and they're all will be contiguous once it's moves forward. But the recommendations are on page 23 of the report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Trustee Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks, Gilbert, for explaining that. Looking at Appendix A, so I see Highway 48 ES site that is already built in before this report, and we are looking for another site that is on the southwest corner of 19th and Highway 48. Am I reading it correctly? The MZO part, the Stouffville part, is already built in from previous approval.
Manager Gilbert Luck.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. That's correct. So we've been having discussions with the town of Stouffville and the owners of the MZO lands to the north of the subject plan, because there's enough units in there, and even east of Highway 48, for those who know there, that's the Walmart. There's a substantial development proposed, so we've identified the need for a school site, so that's what that Highway 48 ES site is referred to. And this subject plan is an additional elementary school site we require to serve this plan.
Right, thank you.
Trustee Lynn?
Yeah, thank you. So this is to ensure that the pressure of the future development that we are submitting the needs of the southwest corner, which belong to the municipality of Markham. And currently, how are we doing with Oscar Peterson?
Manager Gilbert Luck.
So currently, Oscar Peterson is at capacity, so there is insufficient capacity for Oscar Peterson to accommodate the new development, including this plan, which is why we've requested an elementary school site. So we've done a accommodation review on this plan and the other plans in the area and identified the need for the school site, and Oscar Peterson is near capacity currently.
Trustee Lynn?
Thank you, Gilbert. My last question is, what will be the anticipation of this two plan, 532 and 523, the number of years in timeline?
Manager Gilbert Luck.
Thank you. So in discussions with the landowner, they are quite aggressive. They have a servicing strategy in place already. So they're anticipating occupancies within the 5 years. So they're quite aggressive with their timeline.
Okay. The page 9 of 9 of that, I see 2.43 hectare, right? That is, would that be similar to the a name Markham because of the size is only 2.43.
Manager Gilbert Luck?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. So our typical school site is 6 acres, which is 2.4 hectares. So this school site.
I see.
It's just,
Okay.
sorry. It's
That
just
is,
yeah,
okay.
it's
Usually I read it in
Trustee
acre.
Lin?
Thank you. Got it. No question. Thank you, Gilbert, and thank you, staff. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Chair.
Thank you very much. Trustee Butterworth?
Thank you, Chair. Just looking at page 25, so secondary, secondary schools. So you're saying total pupil yield will be about 342 students. Stouffville Secondary is going to be close to capacity. Are there, I don't see, and maybe I'm missing it, is there a plan for another secondary school in there, or what are we looking at down the road for that?
Manager Gilbert Luck?
Thank you. That's a great question. So Stouffville is near capacity right now. But there, as you know, secondary schools can operate above capacity, and we have 6 portables. So we can look at additional portables. But in time, as I mentioned, with contiguous development to the south in Markham in particular, which is where this plan is located, we do have plans for additional secondary school sites. So the vision is, in time, there will be additional school sites in North Markham which can serve this plan, and potentially the south portion of Stouffville as well in a new secondary school. So in future reports, you will see we will be bringing forward secondary school sites as well.
Thank you. Trustee Butterworth?
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions? Okay, I see no further questions. Now, may I please have a motion to approve the following recommendation, that the York Region District School Board approve the following recommendations. 1, that the York Region District School Board will require a public elementary school site within the proposed plan of subdivision plan 25137532, City of Markham. And 2, that the conditions of plan of subdivision approval identified in section F be imposed upon Plan 25137532 relative to the York Region District School Board. Trustee Lin moves the motion. Anyone opposed to the motion? The motion to approve is carried. Next, we have the proposed development application 19T 25V015 in the city of Vaughan. So I would like to invite Manager Gilbert Luck to speak to this item.
Thank you. So this report is for development application in the city of Vaughan, north of our Tanya Khan school community. The area is known as the North Kleinberg Nashville Secondary Plan. It's a mouthful. So the planning for this area began in 2010, and at the time we already designated the need for 1 elementary school site in the secondary plan area. So if you refer to Appendix A, you can see the secondary plan area, which includes the subject plan and a bit to the north and south as well. So the block plan was prepared in approximately 2022, which identified the location and configuration of the elementary school site. And this plan of subdivision is the first development application plan of subdivision which has been submitted in this area. The total block has 1,300 units. This plan in particular has 356 units, including our elementary school site. So we are, this report is to ask trustees to approve the draft plan conditions that we're going to be imposing on this plan of subdivision to secure the elementary school site to serve this new community. Happy to answer any questions trustees may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Trustee Mahmood, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. I'm reading this the plan conditions, draft plan conditions on this report, they're quite extensive. I've never seen these type of conditions before, unless I really missed all of them. Is there any specific reason we are making these, for example, Section F and then bullet point A, the prior to final approval, the owner shall have made agreement satisfactory to the York Region School Board for the transfer of public elementary school site, and the site should not be less than 2.31. So that I understand. But is it like we're at a very early stage, that's why we're making these type of conditions in the draft proposal?
Manager Gilbert Luck.
Thank you. So these are more or less our standard conditions. So this is to ensure before the applicant gets able to register the plan, they've satisfied all our needs. So all these conditions ensure that I deliver to Gerard a site that we can build a school on and with minimal work. So they delivered a site that's ready to go to the extent that it can be, including servicing the site and it's graded appropriately and having the appropriate soil conditions. So this is just to protect the board so that we minimize any site prep costs that we may incur and to reduce the timeline to build the school. So hope that answers your question.
Trustee Mahmood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, thanks for the explanation. Second question on this subdivision is basically as its own standalone in the area where it's being proposed. Do we know what's the plan of the city is for this expansion in that area? How far are we looking at? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Is there any idea we have?
Manager Gilbert Luck?
Thank you. So I believe this area is part of the Northeast Vaughan water servicing plan that the city is undergoing right now. So they are doing the servicing to have sanitary servicing for this area. So I think that is why this is coming forward to coincide with the city's capital plan. But in terms of timing for this, it's probably around 5 years out, depending on market conditions. But there is a servicing plan in place. And one of the reasons why there might have been, or I guess you want to call it delay, is actually just north of this plan, secondary plan area, is the Bradford bypass. So they had to ensure that alignment was finalized before they were able to move forward and finalize the plans. But now that they have done, we expect development to move forward.
Trustee Mahmood?
No, I'm good, thank you. Because that was going to be my next question. Where is the highway coming along? So that's where it is. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any further questions? I see no further questions. May I please have a motion to approve the following recommendation? That the York Region District School Board approve the following recommendations. 1, that the York Region District School Board will require a public elementary school site within the proposed development application 19T 25V015, City of Vaughan. And 2, that the conditions of plan of subdivision approval identified in Section F be imposed upon Plan 19T 25V015 relative to the York Region District School Board. Trustee Mahmood moves the motion. Do we have any trustees opposed? The motion to approve is carried. I would now like to call on CFO Vidya Maharaj to share some additional information.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just before we adjourn tonight's meeting, I do want to take this opportunity to recognize Senior Manager of Planning and Property Development Services, Don Adams. Don has been with the YRDSB for over 2 decades, having previously worked for the former North York Board of Education before joining us. Dawn has recently announced her intention to retire from the YRDSB at the end of March. So tonight will be Dawn's last Finance and Property Standing Committee meeting with us. During her time with the YRDSB, Dawn has been a strong advocate for French immersion and dual track programming, particularly primary dual track. She has led the retrofitting of classrooms to accommodate full-day kindergarten, to retrofit classrooms to accommodate students with special needs, and she's been an integral part in our school design and program renewal efforts. She's also been a key player in developing our EDC bylaws, as well as building positive relationships with our municipal partners, as well as ensuring that our enrollment forecasts support the board in preparing balanced budgets. I think during my own time working with Dawn, what has been most impressive has been her ability to lead a planning team with an ability to secure new school approvals, competing with all boards across the province. So successful has Dawn been that not only have other boards referenced Dawn, but even the Office of the Auditor General, when they were auditing another school board, held up our planning processes as an ideal process, and that is very much due to Dawn Adams. Dawn leaves behind a strong legacy of new schools, a sound planning process, a roadmap for future development, and a strong team who will carry on the work. So if you would all just join me in thanking Dawn for her many years of service. We wish you well. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you very much. The next Finance and Property Standing Committee public session is scheduled for March 31st, 2026. Seeing that there are no further questions, we'll move to adjourn the Finance and Property Standing Committee public session at 7:39 p.m. If there are no further items of business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, trustees, committee members, staff, and presenters for joining tonight's public session. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.